Dr. Julius Marcus Garvey, the son of my great ancestor. Julius Garvey was not just your father. He was also my ancestor, a predecessor, a man that planted the seed that we are really enjoying today. And sometimes there's a tendency to forget the seed that was sacrificed in order for you to generate the fruit you are enjoying today. As for me, I never forget my root. Pan-Africanism was really ignited by your father, and it runs in your vein. And I want you to understand and to ask us and to query us and invoke the spirit of those who have come before us, from Nanda Azikiwe to Marcus Garvey to Julius Nyerere, and the list goes on and on and on, and to Kwame Nkrumah, the students of your father. How can we replant the seeds of greatness of our forefathers? And that's my question to you, Dr. Julius Garvey.
Okay. I think I can quote my father there. We must liberate our minds from mental slavery, because while others may free the change, none but ourselves can free our minds. And also, I'd like to add another quotation. People without the knowledge of their past history, traditions, and culture is like a tree without roots. And that's our problem. Our problem is that we've been disconnected from ourselves, and we have been forced into alien systems that have controlled our minds and our bodies, so that we're not free as human beings in terms of manifesting who we are as, shall we say, spiritual individuals having a physical existence. I think you know that basically the African understanding of our humanity is that we are a balanced spiritual and physical entity, just as the universe itself is balanced between the creator and what has been created. And we have been created in the image of our ancestor, if you will, and that's why we, shall we say, worship our ancestors, because our ancestry goes back to the first creator, which is the divine presence. And nowadays we call it the unified field, because science has documented the fact that that's the source of everything to Africa, and that's the basis of civilization. So we have to return to that. I'm sorry I'm making a speech, Sir Joe. I didn't expect to make a speech, but you asked me a very important question, and I couldn't answer it in a shorter period of time. But we've been miseducated. Carter G. Woodson said that in 1930. My dad said we needed a new Negro, not the survived Negro back in the 20s and 30s, and we need a new African at the present time. Indoctrinated, if you will, or certainly informed by our own history and our own traditions and our own culture. That involves, as I mentioned, Ubuntu, the Bantu philosophy, certainly the Yoruba philosophy, the Ashanti philosophy, etc., the native African philosophies that are important, that have come about through human experience over thousands of years. And that's what's important, and we have to return to that.
We need the few. We need the Marines. We need those who can sustain the heat of the battle, because the journey ahead is tough. The British will say that whoever pays the piper plays the tune. I like to take it a little further backwards. Whoever made the pipe knows the tune. And this is why we welcome distinguished senator. She is not the flag bearer of any political ideology in particular, but she might be the foundation that people don't even see while they're enjoying upstairs. Underneath is the foundation. Those who led the foundation, those who are building the pipe that the piper will play, that you dance to. I know Queen Mother feels like dancing, and she's been doing that since yesterday as we celebrate 50 years or so of ECOWAS or what have you in New York City. So without much ado, over to you, Your Excellency, my mentor, and could be yours also, Ambassador Perry.
Okay, good day, Sir Joe, and welcome the Senator to join us on the platform. This is a platform for exchanging ideas to reinforce values and to strengthen us as we have to deal with an increasingly hostile world, particularly here in the United States, where there is a rising up of an anti-woke, anti-DEI culture, and it's taken root, unfortunately, in very senior positions in the government and maybe even the economy also. But we overcame much of this 50 years ago. And so we revived the fight for humanity to counter these anti-human forces.
I know that your friends over there are all extending their greetings. So do you have a question? Please introduce yourself. And I believe you have a question. And after that, I will have a question from Cecilia, a quick question. And then distinguished senator will answer the three and give her thoughts. Over to you, Joshua.
All righty. Thank you so much, and everybody on the platform. I am that I am. That's I love to say that. But aside from that, which is a huge I am Jerusha, Ambassador Jerusha / Apostle Jerusha McDonald Hilton. I am the founder of Africans Cry. I've been on the journey for a long time. Sir Joe knows, bridging the divide from the diaspora to Africa and to unite us. My question, first I want to welcome you, Senator, on the platform with us. What I'd like to ask, what is your position or vision for the dignity and economic empowerment for us as a people to move forward?
Like me can understand, and that would be a different conversation. But in the meantime, welcome on board to the global diaspora. We are united for economic empowerment. Nothing more, nothing less. No apologies. In fact, if you need redemption, go to your mosque, go to your church. If you need charity intervention, go to Mother Teresa. As for this platform, we're all about economic empowerment and independence for the African from the bottom of the pyramid all the way to Bauchi to Alhaji Dandi Jabafar. Over to you and welcome on board, distinguished Senator Dr. Nenadi Usman. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Sergio. Thank you. I want to respectfully say hello to everyone who is on this platform today, and to say that it's a pleasure for me to be here, and to thank Dr. Sergio for inviting me. True, I met him when I was a much younger person, very hot-headed, full of ideas, thinking I could change the world and all that. Well, I've not really succeeded in changing the world, but I've been able to change a little space near me. And I think that gives me some satisfaction, though I wish I could do more. Having said that, I am Nenadi Usman. I am from Kaduna State, which is northern Nigeria, northwest to be specific, the northwest geopolitical region of Nigeria. And I started as a teacher, classroom teacher, became a technocrat, was commissioner in my state for 5 different ministries before I became the Minister of State for Finance and later Minister of Finance for Nigeria. I was a senator also representing my people from 2011 to 2015. And I thought I had quit politics until when His Excellency Peter Obi, His Excellency Alex Otti, just took me by surprise and said, come chair the party so that you can help us to organize congresses and national convention and hand over to credible leaders. So that is just, I think, a little bit about myself. I have 3 daughters biologically, but about 15 others from my orphanage. So I'm a mother of 18, I would say, and I'm a widow.
Level, and she is the story behind whatever you hear about Whoopi Goldberg and Sister Act, because as a nun who was ordained, he remains a nun forever. It's just like in the history of Melchizedek, a priest is a priest forever. Queen Mother, please, I know your schedule is very tight and the children are waiting for you, and I know we're taking notes of the questions that my distinguished sister will ask and answer, and shed some light about her thoughts. And if you could, distinguished, with permission from Queen Mother, unless if Queen Mother says she has to come in now, I would like you to start noting those questions. And before we go to Kano, I have Stephen Emmanuel from Kano who is here. Queen Mother, I know you got to go. How are you? Young lady?
Queen Mother. Queen
Yes,
Mother is in divine order.
yes. Queen Mother, could you tell us what's been going on in New York, in Harlem, and United Nations, and the celebrations going on right now and still going on, and
Yeah.
how does the past, like Dr. Gavi mentioned, how can we be empowered by the spirit and invocation of the past in order to empower the youth and create prosperity for posterity?
What I would like to say to all of us is an honor being on the platform this morning. I got in very late, being at the United Nations. And as the last 2 weeks, we were discussing the work of the UN, which is the high level political forum. I had never seen so many ministers of finance at the meeting. Outside the ministers of women and social welfare agencies or involvement of various departments throughout the world. And at the high level political forum, one of the things that some of us came out with is plan of action. We have 5 more years to have implementation and best practices that we could share with the rest of the world. And I was very pleased of the best practice for 5 more years of being carried out with a country called the Gambia. And with the Minister of Finance giving their report at the UN this past week and last week, I was pleased that they're focusing in on health. And with that, we sent 3 big bags of medical supplies with the Minister of Women and Social Welfare of the Gambia yesterday. So Queen Mother is saying to the world, it's the plan of action we must relish in. And when we think of the voice of what is going on and where we are with the 50th anniversary ECOWAS, and as Queen Mother spoke to them yesterday at their anniversary, and we started at 3 in the afternoon and went on last night with a dinner and a reception that lasted till about 10 o'clock last night. So Queen Mother was late getting home, but it was worth it. I was able to speak to ECOWAS, and their leadership style is one bond for sustainable and economic development for Mother Africa.
To a quick introduction, and I want you to know your questions will be answered by my distinguished sister, Lady Cynthia Onyangoro, Akuna Matata.
Hi, everybody, and nice to meet you, Dr. Usman. Um, I'm from Kenya. My name is Cynthia. I am from Kenya, but I am currently based in Germany. I am researching sustainable food systems. So that's what I am doing for the next four years or so. And my expertise is really in managing food systems more sustainably. So all aspects of that, managing the multi-stakeholder processes and people and the other sustainability aspects of ensuring that the food that we are getting in our homes is nutritious and it's safe for all of us and continuously available to all of us. And I'm also excited because I am already plugged into Nigeria. I am on the advisory board of a green environment initiative. It's climate change awareness organization that is in Anambra State in Nigeria. And their key efforts are working with schools in that state to advance environmental education and awareness. And just last week, we finished the boot camp which is an annual activity that brings together all the schools that choose to participate in this. And we are happy because we are seeing a lot of innovation from our young people. And honestly, the next generations are already safe. It's us who are a bit older than them that would let them down, in the decisions that we are making. But the kids are okay, because the kids have their minds in the right place. And and then also another interesting thing, and I shared that with Joe this morning. I come from a city called Eldoret in Kenya, which is where all the athletes that you see winning all the marathons all over, that's where all the athletes come from. And this week, we actually sent 50 dairy cattle from Eldoret City to Ogun State in Nigeria, because the breed apparently is better than what Nigeria has been getting from South Africa. And, that excited me because first I'm in food systems and that's my home. And just to see this Pan-African trade beginning to take shape, that's very exciting for me to see, because it's things that we've been working on in theory, but actually seeing them work in practice, that's very exciting. So I guess my question or comment would be, how do we strengthen this, so that it's not a one-time thing, and it's something that then we can expand to other sectors, because there are things we can get from Nigeria to Kenya to Tanzania to Uganda, and things that we can get. The Pan-African movement is strong, but we need concerted efforts from all of us to make it going. So what would be the role?
Said, Ambassador Perry has said, we need to grow what we eat and eat what we grow. We need to enhance our own capacities. We need to be independent, not dependent on the Chinese rice, and we complain that there's sand in it. If you are complaining about the sand in the Chinese rice, Stephen in Kano, I'll call upon you after Noble to go ahead and grow your own rice. Mr. Noble, unmute yourself. Welcome back, son. And I'm not from El Dorado. I know your immediate younger sister is an Olympian and a world champion in athletics. We are not from El Dorado. We are from Nigeria. So I don't want you to start now asking, Daddy, what happened?
Thank you, everybody. Sir Joe, Father, thank you so much. Glad to be on the platform once again. Lagos was amazing. Always good to be able to explore more and more opportunities within Africa. And I was recently in Cape Town last December as well. And, being able to really create cross collaboration between East Africa, South Africa, West Africa is a key focus for this group too as well. So happy to be here and to jump in at a very critical time. Right now, things that are top of mind, right now being in DC and being based in DC, I've been focusing a lot on how to create a lot of synergy between the business climate, the policy that's going on right now. As everyone knows, policy is changing a lot in DC. So my father and I are working on different ideas to bring together more leaders to be able to convene and to meet and to speak and discuss and figure out more ways to create actual cross-border opportunities and to create more equity too as well between these conversations. And so excited to meet with some of you all individually, but I want to jump on shortly to say hello. Just got back from Lagos and hope everyone's doing well.
Send it to all of you to save a date to join us in Washington, D.C. as we create value. Take note, folks in Canada. Cynthia was here about 3 or 4 months ago to visit here in Dallas, and the list goes on. And because your word should know no boundaries. Well, thank you, Mr. Noble. Now, let's quickly go to my mining partner. And I want ethical mining. Alaji Dandija before. Rankadede. Assalamu alaikum. Unmute yourself.
Wa alaikum assalam, Sajo. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are listening globally. My name is Alaji Dandija Bappa. I am from Bauchi State. I am the Secretary General of the National Artisanal and Small-Scale Mining Cooperative Society of Nigeria. We specialize in mining and processing, buying and selling, export consultancy of mineral resources. In Bauchi State, we have lithium, lepidolite, amblygonite, spodumene, petalite. We have metallic industrial minerals like gold, graphite, tin cassiterite, iron ore. We have gemstones like ruby, sapphire, amethyst, emerald, topaz, aquamarine. We need investors to come to invest in our state mineral resources sector for the economic growth and development of our dear state, because the abundance of natural resources in Bauchi State continues to make the state one of the wealthiest states in Nigeria. Over 54 different minerals are beneath the state surface and profitable as they may seem one of the most globally demanded minerals. That's the reason why we need the investors to come to invest in our state mineral resources sector.
Understand the appetite, unlimited appetite for knowledge of our young people. And if we don't take care of them now, they will not take care of us in our old age. I'm speaking
Like, for
about
instance,
you guys.
in my school now, sorry, I just cut you short, but for instance, now the school I work, it's a government school, so like they've been on strike for over a month now. So other private schools have finished their term, but due to the situation of the government leadership and how they rule, we're backwards now. We just resumed, so they gave us like extra 5 weeks now. So like you can imagine how it's affecting the future of the kids, because this is the foundation. So I think there are a lot of things that need to be done.
Yes,
honestly.
indeed. Yes, indeed. This is why it's very important. The people that frame the foundation, even though they might not be what we see every day as the beautiful building. When you say a beautiful building, are you talking about the foundation you don't see? So we have a tendency to always look at the superficial, but underneath, subliminally, where the value is. And this is why people like the distinguished senator, the chairman of a major party in Nigeria, those who will frame the work that will build the future, is very, very critical. Like I said, Gliston Academy came in here and invested in getting our youth, 14-year-olds. The youngest was like 9-year-old that came in, and they were here for World Robotics Competition. Do you know what robotics and AI applies to? Anything that would happen for the next 50 years? In medicine, in agriculture, in mining, in processing, and even taking your job if you're not careful, if you're not prepared. On that note, and without too many apologies, I would like to hand this microphone over to the distinguished senator, my own sister, your friend, our leader, Nenadi Usman.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sajo. Thank you. I've noted all the questions. I wrote them down, and I'm going to answer each and every one of them if time permits. But before I go there, I just want to start by talking about the Nigerian political terrain, the Labour Party, His Excellency Peter Obi, our core vision, what we believe we stand to bring to the table if given a chance to take over government in 2027. The first thing I will want to talk about is the ability of a child to dream in Nigeria and have their dreams fulfilled. I'll use myself as an example. When I was born, my father was a mechanic and a driver in the police. And he didn't have, my mother was a petty trader. They couldn't have sent me to private schools. I went to government schools, and I also went to missionary primary school. And within that time space, when I was in the missionary primary school, on Fridays, the missionaries used to give us milk to take back home. We were given books. Our parents couldn't afford it, but we were provided with the basics, what we needed. If you are in primary one, you are given a slate to write on with chalk. And when I got to secondary school, I passed the common entrance to a federal government college. My state, Kaduna State, put me on scholarship. Otherwise, I would not have been able to go to that school. My parents would not have been able to afford it. My uniforms were paid for by the state government. Even when I got to Form 5 and was sitting for JAMB, my JAMB fees were paid for by the state government. Transport money to go home after the end of every term, government used to give me that money to go home and come back. My uniforms were paid for. I finished from there, went into ABU. I was still on scholarship. What am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is Nigeria used to be a country where if you are intelligent, government takes care of you you get the best education so that you come back and contribute your quota into developing Nigeria. As at that time, you can imagine the daughter of a poor driver, a poor mechanic. But because government gave me the opportunity, the infrastructure was there for me to go to school. I was able to become a minister of finance in Nigeria. Tell me, Nigeria today, do you think the daughter of a poor man can rise to be anything? No, things have changed. So we want to go back. Let's take a step backward. We want to take us back to where we were before, because where we were was a better setup. Where, to use Ambassador Jerusha's language, where we are our each other's keeper. What affects me affects you. Because at that time, we stood for each other. Nobody wanted to know whether you were from the south, from the north, wherever you were. It didn't matter at that time. You see, a Christian is going to get married, a Muslim will be his best man. They will go to the church together. A girl like my little one here, Rukaya Bello Bala, today, she's teaching in a government secondary school. In those days, government secondary schools were it. They were good schools. They used to produce first-class brains. But I'm sure today, Rukaya can tell you what she's going through in that school. She said it. She said the school has been on strike. So tell me, when schools are on strike, universities are on strike, how do you expect the children of the poor to rise to be anything? We are all sitting on a time bomb. Nigeria now has the largest number of out-of-school children in the world. When are we going to put an end to that? If we don't put an end to it, certainly these children are going to grow up, see the clear difference between them who have not and those who have, and I'm telling you, those who have will never have peace. With what you have, you think you can steal from government, you will not have peace to even eat and enjoy that thing which you stole. Now, Peter has been talking. His Excellency Peter Obi talks and he says, we want to lead by example. We don't want rhetorics. No, we don't want to, we just want to lead by example. How do you live in a country where majority are poor? They can barely afford 1 square meal a day as we speak. Yet, government squanders money. There is no, the cost of governance is skyrocketing, if anything, when it should be reducing. It's skyrocketing. I am glad we have people in the area of agriculture, not just Rukaya Bello Bala. We also have Stephen Emmanuel. He said he's into agriculture as well. Honestly, they would tell you, Cynthia, you are also, you are studying about food security, nutrition, and all that. I'm sure you have heard a lot of stories, real bad stories about Nigeria. Nigeria used to be a place where no matter how poor you were, you could feed your family, but it's not like that anymore. Things have completely changed to the extent that people are cooking. Somebody can come from the neighborhood, steal the pot of food. It has never happened like that before in Nigeria, but that is what is happening now. So sincerely, I thank you for this opportunity, and I thank you for giving me the time to say a little bit, to use myself as an example, and to say that Nigeria, has to go back. In the world now, when you talk about, we hope to improve, but with our own, we want to go back to the way things are, where we cared for each other, where it didn't matter what your tribe was or what your religion was. Today, you want to contest election, first they ask you, where are you from? Oh, I'm an Igbo man. No, we don't trust an Igbo man. No, all those things, we need to put an end to it. I thank you, Dr. Garvey. Thank you, Ambassador Perry. Thank you, Queen Mother, for your comments and your questions. His Excellency Ambassador Perry talked about climate change. Honestly, climate change is a worrisome thing, because if you look at northern Nigeria, where I come from, desertification is real and is a product of climate change. So whether we like it or not, we need to start looking at it and how, it affects us and what we can do about it. the level of trade among ourselves is mostly informal. But even at that, honestly, is very little. Most African countries would rather trade with countries abroad than trade among themselves. And it's not right. Because if you think of issues like excise duties, customs duties, there are so many things. Moreover, why do you leave your neighbor and go and start trading far off? The issue of even transporting those goods from your country to that far off place, or importing from that far off place and bringing into your country, the issue of transportation automatically makes your goods more expensive. So we need to encourage Africans to trade more among ourselves. We need to trade more among ourselves. And we need to have the infrastructure that will help us to make sure that this Pan-African trade and continental trade, that it works out fine. Because we stand to gain more from trading among ourselves than from going afar for what we have near us. As Yorubas will say, why do you go to Sokoto for what is inside your Sokoto? I don't know if it's making any, maybe Sajo, you will explain that to them later. For those who are not Nigerians, they won't understand what I'm saying. But later on, maybe you explain that proverb to them. Queen Mother, thank you so much for your interest in financing for development. Honestly, there is no how we can even achieve this financing for development without holding our elected officials accountable. Trust is a currency of governance. And it's only when you are transparent in your dealings that you can get people to trust you. Why is it that you make budgets? We hear stories that, oh, budgets have been padded, all sorts of stories where money should be put in to help people, for social development. Monies are not put in there. Instead, monies are put in to build houses for those in government. So things shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that. Social justice, which the Labour Party holds sacrosanct, is supposed to be key. I just hope that the leaders she met during the ECOWAS dinner, they will go back, look at the issue of transparency, how to help by making budgets that will aid development, so that financing for development will be something that we'll see in the near future. The next question came mostly by, it was Cynthia. She talked about what she's doing in Germany, and she said, how do we strengthen the issue of food security in Africa? I'm glad you went to Anambra. My leader, His Excellency Peter Obi, was the governor of Anambra State many years ago, and I tell you that he left that state with so much monies in the bank that he left, but all that has been squandered since he left. But you said there was a boot camp. I think advocacy and sensitization targeting the young is going to be is going to work. And I'm glad you said it is working, and those young people, they are ready to hit the ground running. That is very good. It's going to is going to grow bigger than what it is today. Aside from that, the rule of law, for people to want to come to invest in Nigeria, we must start promoting the rule of law. There has to be infrastructure, and then we have to cut down corruption. Because nobody wants to bring his money into your country to invest if he believes that perchance there is a problem, he goes to court, he will not have justice. You see, we have politicians have gone into the judiciary and bent it in such a way that you don't even recognize it anymore. I think we should stop that. That has to be put to an end. The judiciary need to be told that they are just an arm of government, just like the executive are, just like how the legislature, they are an independent arm of government, and they should enjoy their independence and do what they need to do. So I think I may have forgotten one or two things to say, but sincerely, I believe I was able to like touch a little bit peripherally on each question. And before I close, I want to say one thing, that a new Nigeria is possible. I believe it. I am passionate about that. Nigeria is the largest Black nation in the world. Everywhere you go, if you see 4 people that are Black, 1 definitely is a Nigerian. So if we get it right in Nigeria, I want to assure you that most Black countries, most Black nations, particularly in Africa, will get it right as well.
If you don't own your own, somebody else will own your own. The Germans are trying to take your sister Cynthia. I'm warning you now. The Germans are trying to take her. And she can confirm that about what I'm saying here. We must try embody and empower our own. Is it like the likes of Noble Madu and Attorney Victoria that just came back from Nigeria trying to invest, and they are 2nd and 3rd generation of diasporas? The reason being is ideas must be generated that will enable us sustain what I call the transgenerational blessing of Africa. If not, we have not retained, sustained, cross-pollinated the gifts from our fathers, just like Dr. Julius Garvey told us today. If you want to honor their likes and their things, you must be innovative, you must be creative, and you must be agile, because the rest of the world is not waiting for you. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Keep your feet on the ground, and I thank you, and keep reaching for the sky. And even when you get there, go beyond the firmament, because the sky is not your limit, but a stepping stone. Until next week, greetings and compliments to our sponsors, my chairman, board of directors, Conor Brian Sesi, retired, of the U.S. Africa Chamber of Commerce, African Universities Fund, registered in New York, that graduated over 500 IT and cybersecurity experts, scholarship with Google. And this is just examples. That tells you there's nothing beyond our control. Tap into your resources and your talent of time and treasure, and also go beyond that and tap into your contacts, because it took all of us to build the Buckingham Palace. It took our slave labor to build the White House. To build any house, we are not going to be apologetic if we tell the world to come back so that we can rebuild modern Africa.